Today I want to talk to you about stereo bus compression with the SONIMUS TUCO compressor. Hey, Selim here from Mixdown.online. Now, if this is your first time on this channel, feel free to subscribe and to click the notification bell so you don't miss a thing. Now, the SONIMUS TUCO compressor. This compressor is a tube compressor, okay? It's a very MU style of compressor. It has a very smooth and transparent sound. Note that I am not sponsored by SONIMUS. I just love their plugins, and I really liked the two plugins I worked with for years, which are the Britson and the Satson console emulation plugins. If you check one of my older videos on console emulation, I actually use the Britson plugin on that video. So I'm going to leave the link right on top here so you can check it out. Now let's first go and look at the plugin itself. Then I'm going to apply it to the two bus stereo out, okay? But first I'm going to try this on my drum bus. So let's go and take a look at the plugin itself. I'm just going to bring it here. Like I told you, this is a very MU style of compression, a bit like the Fairchild, the 670, which is a very MU style of compressor. All right, first we're going to go on top here and we're going to look at the different options we have. We have the mono, which is going to bring everything into mono, going through the same detector circuit. And then we have the stereo vintage, which is going to feed the sum of both channels, left and right, into a single unit detector circuit. Okay, then it's going to apply the same gain reduction to each channel. Now for stereo modern, each channel left and right is processed independently. And then it combines the two gain reduced channels into one, resulting in equal gain reduction for both sides. So for dual mono, it's very simple. Each channel left and right is processed independently by two compressor units. Okay. Now, if we go right below, okay, we have the meter. Now, this is the gain reduction meter. It can also be the input meter and the output meter. So if you want to change that, you can click on the SONIMUS logo right here and select the the gain reduction meter, input or output meter, the one you want. For now, I'm going to keep that to gain reduction. And now we're going to go down to the compressor section here. Okay, we have the mode. We have like 4 different modes. First, we have the slow attack mode. We have the fast attack mode on the compressor side, and we have the limiter side, where we have a slow attack and a fast attack. Okay, then we have the amount of signal that comes into the compressor, basically the input, okay? And we can select, if you click on amount, we can select if we want to enable the auto makeup or disable it. Okay, I'm going to keep that on disabled for now. If it's on enabled, what's going to happen, the more you're going to compress, the more you're going to send some signal into the compressor, it's going to adjust by itself the output level, okay? Now I'm going to keep that at disabled, and we have here the output, okay, which is the output of the compressor. Now the release, very simple. At 0, it's a fast release, and at 10, it's a slow release, okay. Now if we go down to the settings, we have the mix knob, which is dry and wet. And we have here a side chain high pass filter, okay, which is very cool. Now, this is very useful if you're compressing a signal that has a lot of low end, for example, and that is affecting a lot of the signal that has been compressed. You can activate the side chain high pass filter. So whatever is below the value you set up is not going to be compressed at all. Okay, so for example, if I set that up to 100 Hertz, everything below 100 cycles is not going to be compressed, and everything above that will be. Now, if I go back here to the mix knob, okay, this is the dry and wet mix knob. Here, if you click on mix, we have the mix control mode, okay. We can set that up to be before the output control, or we can set it up to be after the output control, okay, meaning that if it's set before the output control, when you're going to adjust the output, it's going to include the mix knob. Okay, if you put it after the output control, these two options here, these two parameters will be independent. Okay, so for now, I'm just going to keep that to before the output control. Now we have here a very important feature, the drive feature, which is going to add some saturation to the signal that goes by the compressor. Okay, this is the last feature of the compressor. So everything that comes out, the output is going into the drive option here, okay, which is very cool to add a bit more warmness to the sound and so on. Okay, so you can select how much you want the drive to be at if you want anyways. So I'm going to keep that to 0 for now. Okay, now let's work on the drum bus. Now, what I want to achieve here is basically to bring a bit more life to the drum sound, a bit more punch and movement. Okay, now to achieve that, I'm going to use my Tuco compressor, and I'm going to set my attack time to a slow attack. Okay, I'm going to make sure my attack is at slow, and I'm going to bring my release to a fast release. Okay, so I don't want the signal to stay compressed that long. I want it to release pretty fast so I can get a type of movement going on. Okay, so let's try this out and adjust the amount of gain reduction. Now, what I'm going to do here is applying sidechain high-pass filter to my sound. Okay, I want to keep everything below 100 cycles out of the compressor. So let's set that up to 100. Pretty cool. I love it. Okay, so I love the fact that it adds a lot of sustain, okay, out of the drum kit, a lot of life, a lot of punch at the same time. You can feel the movement, and as you can tell here on my meter, I make sure the meter stays in movement for the entire song. Now let's go and listen to this in context. Now I am going to add a bit of drive here. Okay, now it's pretty subtle. Now, if you want to increase the drive, okay, out of this compressor, what you need to play with is the output. Okay, the more output you're going to bring into that drive knob, you know, the more drive you're going to get. Now, the stereo bus. Okay, now what I want to do here is to glue things together, okay? And the way I'm going to approach my settings here on my compressor to glue things is I'm going to start with a fast attack and a slow release this time. I'm going to first listen to what it does and adjust it to my taste. Very subtle moves, and this is what I like on a stereo bus. I don't want to go too crazy. I don't want to squash and destroy the mix. So, you know, by just working with a gain reduction of a dB or so, not even, It's good enough for me, and I love the sound it does. It glues stuff together, and this is what I was looking for. Now, this is not the type of settings I'm going to do all the time. Setting up a compressor on the stereo bus will depend on what you want to achieve here. If you want to add a bit more punch, it's something else. If you want to glue stuff together, that's the type of thing I do to do so. But as far as that plugin goes, I really like it. I love the vibe, love the color, love the sound, and I love the simplicity of the interface itself, which is very easy to use. This is going to be it for today. Now, if you want to know more about the Tuco compressor, you can check it out directly on the SONIMUS website. They have a demo available for you to try it out if you wish to. Now, don't forget to share, like, and subscribe, and leave your comments below and questions if you have some. Guys, until next time, see you.